Hello, hello, Wakenya Karibuni katika Brand Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brand Show, the show that brings you real entrepreneurs with real stories who will leave you real inspired. My name is Lydia Amuge and I'm your host for the Brand Show. The Brand Show is brought to you by Winning Choices in partnership with Saida Solutions. Saida Solutions is based in Kenya and you can find them at the Jadala Place on Ngong Road. For the past 1 month, we were in Uganda where we hosted two amazing entrepreneurs behind glowing and growing brands, Bravo Shoes and the Great Lakes Safaris. If you would like to catch up those previous episodes of the Brand Show, you can log on to my YouTube channel and find out what's happened in the last two episodes. But today we are very excited to be in Kenya. We are very excited to bring the Brand Show to the people of Nairobi, to the people of Kenya. And today we shall be hosting yet another amazing entrepreneur. She's courageous. She's bold. She's great. She has a great story to tell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show and join me right now as we welcome our guest of the day, none other than Kuki Kathomi Njeru, the CEO of Greenpot Enterprises. They pioneered a space that no one had thought of pioneering. Let's hear the great story behind a woman who went into a space that no one had gone into. So let me welcome Kuki right now. Yes, Kuki, karibuni katika Brand Show. We are very excited to have you at the Brand Show today. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for, I think you're just born to be a woman that pioneers spaces. You didn't just pioneer the bamboo space, but you are also the first lady on the Brand Show. Welcome to the Brand Show, Kuki Kathomi Njeru. You can just say hello to our viewers across Uganda, Kenya, and other parts of the world. Yes, Kuki, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. All right. As Kuki gets back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage us to really be fully involved in the show, because this show will also offer you an opportunity to actually win 3-month free mentorship with Kuki. So the Brand Show also gives you an opportunity to actually be mentored by the best of the best. So keep tuned to the show, because you might be the lucky entrepreneur who will get the opportunity to be mentored by Kuki at the end of the show. Yes, Kuki, I know you're now right here with us. Can you say hello to our viewers across Nairobi, across Narok, where you're coming from, Uganda? I know we have viewers from Uganda as well who are very excited to be here with you.
Thank you, Lydia. Hi, viewers. Thank you so much for watching our show this evening. And thank you, Lydia, for hosting me. I pray that we have a lovely, lovely 1 hour together. And I'm looking forward to it and to sharing as much as I can so that we can build as many entrepreneurs, not just here in Kenya, but also in East Africa.
Yeah, thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, you're probably wondering what makes us bring someone as amazing as Kuki. You know, the entrepreneurial space is not a space that is where you just jump in and succeed. Many people actually fail, but Kuki has succeeded in a space that she pioneered. Kuki Kathomi Njeru is the CEO of Greenpot Enterprises, Kenya's first fully integrated bamboo company. So Kuki, we are very excited to be with you. And viewers, I just want to let you know that this is not just a conversation between Kuki and I. You are part of the conversation. So feel free to use the comment section to ask as many questions as you want. Feel free to use the comment section to tell us what you think about the show, because the Brand Show is not just about us. The Brand Show is about you. The Brand Show is brought for you. So let's dive into our show so that we are not caught up by time. So Kuki, you know, we've heard about your bamboo story and it's really amazing, but we want to know, how did your entrepreneurship journey begin?
First, I would like to say that I'm not the CEO. I'm the marketing director and outreach director for Greenpot, and I am one of the founding partners of Greenpot Enterprises. I'm sure my CEO is watching. You don't want me fired tomorrow, but just on a light note, my journey started. Let me put it this way. Sometimes when we went to boarding school, you're given pocket money. And in our days, unlike these days where you're given enough pocket money, you're just given pocket money. It doesn't matter whether it is enough or it isn't. And what happened is that when you get into school, you quickly realize that the money you're given, regardless of how much it is never enough. And I remember starting a business with my twin sister. So what we'll do is that when our dad gave us our pocket money, we'll go to a nearby market and buy biscuits and store them in cartons in school. So what you'd do is you wait for everybody after you open school, you'd wait for everybody to finish eating what they had brought. And the next week would be in the dormitories at night when people are very hungry with our biscuits, selling them for a shilling each and, you know, making a small profit. And later on, I remember even when and how to know that you had money in school is that you would be able to afford to go to school functions, which everybody had to pay for. So the fact that we're always on that bus means we made some money. Later on, when we finished school, we found ourselves selling crisps, making them at home and selling them to Dukas and a high school that was near our home. It was called the Queen of Apostles. And just like that, you make a bit of money. But also then I realized that maybe I am not quite employable, and I knew that the entrepreneurial journey was going to start from then and moving forward. Later on, our ambition took us to doing a really great event. It was called the Santa's Trail at about age 20, and it required us to get sponsorship, and we didn't even know how to do those proposals, really. I'll be very, very honest. But the boldness you have and just the courage to be able to push an event, you sit down and you're like, this event has to happen. So we found ourselves meeting like the CEO, the then CEO, I think John McAthimo of the chairman, of Kenya Airways that time. Bold. We're not even going to small guys, marketing managers. We just walked into his office with a bad proposal, trying to get sponsorship. And later on did a number of events with our friends. And I would say that was the first event, Christian event, really, the concert that we did that did not make a loss then. So it was a really, really, really big deal. Later on, I would find myself in Rwanda, again, ambition, having worked for a media house, a magazine media house for about 2 years. I found myself in Rwanda doing a marketing business, starting a marketing business in a francophone country, and I was an anglophone. But when I was there, I realized, these guys don't even need advertising. What they require is fast garbage collection, and they required to be trained in English. So I just changed what I was doing in Rwanda from marketing to training of corporates from English to francophone to English. So I found myself training managers in English, which was really interesting. So I became a teacher, and I took that space where you train guys. And then garbage collection, believe it or not. And that's how I started. And it was a very, very interesting journey. But entrepreneurship, I started just because I started. I didn't even think there was a formula to it. I just knew that you need to make money and you don't have to be seated somewhere employed. And sometimes I'd let my drive throw me to whichever direction. So that's how my entrepreneurial journey started.
Wow, that's amazing. From crisps to bamboo. So, yes. Yeah, it really shows us that, your start point doesn't matter. What matters is where you are determined to go. And indeed, it's because you are determined that you are able to own and be a part of Kenya's first bamboo company. So what enabled you to succeed in a space that had not been charted by anyone? Given that you didn't know whether it would succeed, you don't know who has done it well before, what enabled you to succeed in that space?
First, I'll start by saying, when we jumped into the bamboo space, it was by accident again. As I said, you let your ambition throw you to different places. When we started, we knew we were starting a business to do plantations, to plant tree plantations. And at that time we thought eucalyptus, because there was a lot of opportunity in electricity poles. Then the Kenya Power here was buying a lot of poles for electricity. And that's how we started. And that is why I say that bamboo was an accident, is because two things happened. The first thing was, so our chairman, who is also my business partner, Mundia Mushiri, gave somebody a lift, and that lady told her, hey, I've been to China with the president, and there's all this money to be made from bamboo. And we're like, oh, okay. And then the second thing that happened is that the parcel of land that we had purchased then to do eucalyptus, after doing the soil tests, was not suitable for growing eucalyptus. So those two things happened in tandem, whereby we found this new crop called bamboo, and there was a need for us to convert our land to something which could not be eucalyptus, and that's what we had told people. So very quickly we went to learn about bamboo. And then some of the success that we have achieved, I believe, came from a number of things. And the first one is being fearless, saying that this is new, but I can learn. This is new, but I can go there. It's uncharted waters, and it's okay. And I'll go there. If I drown, I just call for help. Always knowing that you can get out there and do things and not be fearful. The second thing that happened to me is that I got great business partners. We are 3 founding directors, and let me explain great. Great in terms of experience in their different spheres, and also great in terms of they have diversity of skills and character. If you look at me, I'm a bomb, I'm an energy bomb. Then I got a partner who was calm and collected. And I got another one who had crazy ideas in his head that needed to be implemented. Now, I found myself in the middle, being the one who connects between the calm and collected and the crazy ideas. And because I'm unafraid of running and starting new things, then it was possible for us to come together and create a great enterprise. The third one is continuous learning. We learned so much. I know that you've had this before, that if you master or if you read something for 10,000 hours, then you become an expert. And just by that, I can say that I am an expert in bamboo now. My background is in IT and marketing, but now I'm a bamboo expert because we kept learning. I went to people like KEFI, the Kenya Forest Research Institute. We kept learning from people like the Kenya Forest Service, who are also our partners and friends. Kept learning from the International Network for Bamboo and Rattan, just to find out, how does the bamboo grow? And at some point when we discovered that it was a really wide scope of managing, you had to start learning about bamboo products, you had to start learning about forest management and many other things. Continuous learning. And the fourth thing, and I think is one of the most important, in my head, I thought that when I'm an entrepreneur, I'll sit in a nice office, which I did for some time, and that we would manage things from the top. That's where everybody prefers to manage things. Then you discover, no, you have to learn how to do things that you're not comfortable with. And you have to learn how to adjust and keep, you become like an amoeba. You adjust, you break where you need to break, you come together where you need to come together. And I found myself one day, and this was the most profound moment. One day I was in the forests in the farms with our outgrowers who grew bamboo for us. And the next day you're required to be on a plane to go for an international conference and everything in between. So you have to learn how to do things that you're not comfortable with. You have to learn how to do more, because if it's your business, then you have to learn what makes the business run. So even if it means planting seedlings or getting into a forest or learning how to run a factory, then you do it because you're an entrepreneur. One day your employees could decide, we're not interested, then what do? You can't close down. So I found that learning and adjusting is the way then we've been able to get to where we are right now.
Wow, those are really amazing lessons. I can imagine, doing some planting, then you're running onto a plane the next day. Really, as an entrepreneur, you have to be a master of all, especially when you're starting out in business. So those of us who have just started, I think you can see, you practically have to do everything before the business really grows. So I know and truly believe that the entrepreneurship journey is not a walk in the park. I know you've probably had some really low moments and low points. So share with us, what was your lowest point, and How did you bounce back? Because one thing I know about the bamboo tree is that it bounces back. So what
Yeah.
was your lowest, and how did you actually bounce back from that lowest moment?
If you ask many entrepreneurs, they'll tell you that their lowest point is a point where they did not have money and where their cash flows were not doing well. That's the norm for entrepreneurs. And it's not too different from us. One of my lowest points ended up being like,
Kuki, could you just kindly adjust your microphone slightly so that we can hear you?
Sorry. Yeah. So I was saying that for many entrepreneurs, the loss of money or not having enough cash flow becomes the challenge for most of them, and they'll tell you that that's their lowest point. And some entrepreneurs don't even get to that point because they hold on to what they have instead of holding on to the business. Now, for us, or for me, the lowest point has been realizing that I have to hold on to my business regardless of the situation. And sometimes last year, just before COVID happened in Kenya, which was in February last year, I made a decision. Sorry, not in January last year, I made a decision to move to Narok. And this was because of a number of things. One, because of challenges of cash flow, as any other business would have. We realized that we need to downsize our way of living, downsize the way we do things, so that then we can be able to conserve energies to be able to run through. So what I did is I moved to Narok. And I remember when I moved to Narok, a number of things had to happen. My kids had to adjust where they went to schools because they had to go to, some had to go to boarding schools, and some had to put up with a relative to be able to go to school. And separating the family at that point where you have teenagers wasn't easy. But we looked for ways of being able to visit as often as I can, be able to go for their school meetings when I'm able to. And when I moved to Narok, why I call it a low high point, if I could put it that way, is because when I moved here, I didn't move it wasn't a really comfortable move. It's not like though you're moved from Kampala to Kenya and you're given a place to live. I had a place to live, and it was a studio that we had built, and I'll talk about it later. We had built earlier on so that we can be able to run our businesses. When we knew we were going to come to Narok, we built studios so that we can stay there instead of staying in hotels. And after about 20 years of working, I moved to a studio in Narok, in a forest, about 5 kilometers from the road, and it was in like a forest setting. Why I call it my high point is because what I thought would happen when I moved here didn't happen. I thought that I'd go, in fact, I bought orange curtains so that there can be some sunlight in my life. And I thought I'd have a low moment of going like, oh no, now I cannot have coffee with my friends in Java. And that's not what happened. What happened is that I got embraced in a community in a very interesting way. I got people who are willing to help. I got to understand the community. And as devolution would have it, because Kenya works with devolution, we have a devolved country now, I was able to walk into offices of people who can help me and are willing to help me at any given time. In Narok, you walk to the senator's house and tell him, hey, I have a problem. In Narok, you call the governor and tell him, hey, I have a problem. If you're doing business here, it made it possible. It made things that were not possible in Nairobi possible for our business. We are able to interact with people who give us help. You're able to walk into the electricity offices, KPLC and REA, and get help. You're able to reach your MCA. Nairobians can't reach their MCAs. Here, we reach your MCA, your neighboring MCA, your neighbor's MCA. You're able to reach everybody who you need to be able to help you set up a business. The other interesting thing is that also the business community here, you find somebody who shows you the rope. So it made it so easy. Then also the timing. We needed to start a factory, and that was just the right time. So whereas the move was not as deliberate as it should have been, it worked magically for our business. We're able to come here and be able to start setting up our factory and be present and not, just have a remote control kind of way of doing things. So it just ended up being beautiful for us. And guess what? Even the family, they love spending their holidays in Narok now. So Nairobi is where we visit.
Wow, that's really amazing. What ideally seemed like a lowest point for you turned out to be a high point for you. I think that's really important because many times you find that entrepreneurs actually sink at
Yes,
points that would actually take them to their next level. So I want to
yes,
encourage us, whenever we think we are sinking, we always need to look for what is the silver lining in this
yes,
cloud. So, like you've talked about your business, there were times there were good seasons and there were seasons that were not really so good. So,
yes.
when you look at business, just like life, there are times and seasons. Why is it important for an entrepreneur to deliberately read the times and seasons within their business and act accordingly? Because I could see that you acted and moved away from the comfort of Nairobi to Narok, which now worked for you good.
It's heavenly. I'm never moving from here. Now, I know what you're talking about, adjusting during the seasons. Now, sometimes there are things that are really painful for entrepreneurs. And one of the biggest one is being able to know when and how to adjust so that you can be able to survive. Because many people treat business as an alternative. When we were in school, I remember one of the simplest things I had in primary school about business is that business is like a human being, it has a life. So when you start your business, you're not starting it so that it dies. So you have to treat it the same way you would treat a child who was ailing. You have to treat it the same way you treat yourself when you're ailing, or you have to treat it the same way you treat your parents when they need help. So that's how we chose to look at business. And one of the things that is painful but needs to happen sometimes is make necessary adjustments in terms of human resource. How many people are we employing and of what caliber? And sometimes in a business, these people may change. You find sometimes that there's a time we needed more salespeople who of course are high caliber or highly high paying, those are high paying jobs. So you find that you have to manage a wage bill that's a bit higher. Then there's sometimes in the business when we had done selling what we call the gated community of forest, you quickly realize that managing that sales team does not make sense. So you may have to make an adjustment from having the sales team to having more foresters on the ground. And having to lay off people isn't easy. And sometimes also it is also having to move places or having to work in places that you did not think were possible. Like in Narok, we thought we would work primarily in Narok, but as we discovered what our business is about, as we learned that it is a business that can impact communities in a greater way, then we started getting into other counties. So where we thought that, right, we'll work in Narok, we're now working in 16 counties. How do you adjust that? You find that sometimes it's hiring more people, but sometimes it means you get to do some more work done. You put your, it's called hands on the deck now, and everybody has to work. Sometimes you find that the business is changing. When we started, one of the adjustments we had to make very quickly is realize that we are not going to buy bamboo seedlings because they were not available in the variety and in the quantity and price that we needed. So we found ourselves having to do a backward integration where you now have to start nurseries, where you have to start learning about how to propagate bamboo seedlings, what varieties there are, and the differences. So making such adjustments became quite interesting. Now, the last one was when we started, we thought that we would just plant bamboo and it will grow in 4 years and we'll harvest. There were factors like we had a drought in 2017 and 18. And that's the reality. You have promised a client that they'll harvest their bamboo in 5 years, then you have a drought. And of course, while you're pitching, you've not made allocation for those changes. So we found ourselves having to adjust and make changes in terms of the timelines and deliverables and the reality. So we could not start our factory in 2019. We're starting it in 2021 because there was a time adjustment that you need to make. You always also assume that, hey, people will come in, it's a good business, it impacts people, they'll give us money and we'll start. Then you discover, oh, we're not even raising money for the factory. So what do? You go back, you sell something, you sell your piece of land, you let go of one thing or another to make this happen. So the adjustments are continuous, and I don't think that it is possible to be an entrepreneur without making the necessary adjustments. it will kill you, because it will kill you while you're trying to hold on to two things that may not work. You have to let one go so that another one succeeds. So the adjustments and the timeliness of making those adjustments is very, very important. And they do not end. It's continuous. Even when you're succeeding, there are adjustments that you need to make.
Wow, that's amazing. So we should love our businesses, but we should not completely fall in love that we cannot adjust. I think that is very important, because I think certain entrepreneurs are failing to take next levels because they're so tied to, you know, the old idea. It must be like this if it's not like this. So I think that is a very important point for us to note. So you say that you're now in 16 counties. One of the challenges that entrepreneurs face is knowing when it is time to now expand, because sometimes we end up expanding when we are not ready for expansion. So how can I know that I'm now ready for expansion as far as my business is concerned?
Oh, wow. Maybe I'll put it, let me just use what my experience has been, or what Greenpot's experience has been. Now, when we started, we were very rigid. We were very clear in our minds. We had done a bit of research. After the bamboo, we had to do more research, and it was clear that we were going to have a strategy where we own forests together with people, and we knew that the forests we are going to have are going to be about 1,500 to 2,000 acres, and that's what we were working towards. Now, there's a time we were visited by people from WRI, the World Resource Institute, and they told us that they looked at our website, and what we are doing is called the restoration economy, because we are growing trees and restoring landscapes. And they said that they would want to work with us if they want to partner with us in restoring landscapes and whatever. So then they shared with us some numbers, and what became apparent is that Kenya has over 1 million hectares of degraded landscape, and of those, over 13 million hectares that are degraded, and of that acreage, over 1 million hectares is land that needs to be restored using bamboo. So all of a sudden we're seated and you're like, but us guys are looking to work with our 1,500 acres. How do we do 1 million hectares? And what happens is that we found ourselves having to step back and accommodate something called now restoration, whereby we would partner with people to restore hundreds and thousands of hectares using bamboo, which meant now that I am not going to a client every day and selling to them a bamboo forest. I'm going to corporates. You start working with corporates, you start working with environmental NGOs like the Nature Conservancy and larger NGOs around the world to just do this landscape restoration. So what happened is that the opportunity sometimes presents the opportunities around you present you with an opportunity to expand your business. Sometimes it's not because you have money, but sometimes it's because there's an opportunity and that you can get people who want to work with, and for you to be able to get that. So I think for us, our expansion was mostly because of the opportunities. So, and that's how then we found ourselves working in 16 counties for restoration. The other one was when we discovered that the bamboo opportunities were so many, we also discovered that our 1,500 acres would not be enough. And then also we realized that the buying and selling of land, which is what we're doing, is not tenable because many people, especially in the rural areas, are not willing to sell land. So they discovered that 90% of the land actually belongs to people, not government. It belongs to the mwananchi. So when we discovered that, we knew that we would have to go then to farmers, and it would not be in one area, it would be in an expansive area, and that's the 16 counties. So one day we were invited by Kenya Water Towers Authority to talk about bamboo in Mount Kenya area. And at the end of it, the CEO then, who is a very good friend of mine now, just said, okay, thank you. We have brought you investors in bamboo, and they're going to be making a presentation. And after this, all the counties can invest in bamboo, and the investors are here. And then they invited us to speak, and we're like, oh, wow. So sometimes you're thrown into expansion, and you have to embrace it. And for us, it's both times that we have expanded or we have diversified our products. It has been because of opportunities that have presented themselves. So Other than money, expansion can come because of opportunities. And I think it is in the best interest of every entrepreneur to embrace and grab those opportunities. And they're there.
Wow, that's really amazing. I like the fact of reading opportunities, because many times we could be the next great company or the next great brand, but unfortunately sometimes we miss the opportunities. So guys who are watching, keep your eyes open, because you could miss your next opportunity if your eyes are not open. I just want to thank our viewers. I can see Kuki. There are a number of people who are very excited. Someone is saying, I like the passion and the charisma of Kuki Njeru. Yes, thank you so much. And I just want to all our viewers that I have seen the questions that you have asked, and Kuki will definitely answer these questions before the end of the show.
Right.
So Kuki, one of the things I've noticed you've been talking about is we partnered with this, my partner, I succeeded because of partners. That tells me something about business and partnerships. It tells me that partnerships are great for success in business. But how do I read and know that this is the right partner, or this is the wrong partner, or this one will be good for me, or this one will be a disaster for me?
The first thing I would say is this. People call them partners when they're talking about money. Most investors think that the people who come in, put in money and start a business or grow my business are partners. Yes, they are. But there's also people who are like collaborators, people who are experts in a certain area, people who are drivers in a certain area. And if they come into your lives, then they can become very, very good partners. And sometimes people are lost in that. When you're asked to collaborate with somebody, it's an MOU, no money will be made. And you're like, these guys are going to waste a lot of my time. Yet, those are partners that you can work with. And the best examples I have of that is our partnership with Carefree, with Kenya Forest Service, and also with INBA, the International Network for Bamboo and Rattan. They have information, they have networks, they have people that they know. So you may not be getting money out of it, but guess what? You're getting education, you're getting experience, you're getting introduced to the people then who would invest and become partners in terms of partnership or investing in your business. And as entrepreneurs, sometimes I feel that we are a bit shaky and wary of working with people who are not putting in money. But please, if it's people who are building even your knowledge of the business, then those are good people to partner with. Give them a board seat once in a while so that they can be able to give you the advice that you need. Work with them on a project that adds you nothing other than the experience and other than the richness that can be added in your business. Now, another thing about partnership I have found is that many entrepreneurs think that when you do not have money, you're a poorer or a weaker partner. And that's not true, because you find that entrepreneurs go and they are trying to get partnerships or to get investors in their business, and they forget, one, what they have put in terms of time, in terms of expertise, in terms of research. That sweat equity that you bring in, even in terms of excitement, being the person who dreams about this business every day, being the person who envisions greater things for this business is big enough a portion to bring at the table and say, this is what I'm bringing. So you find that many people, when they are looking for partners, they walk in with a slouch feeling that because they do not have money, they have less. So what happens? They go to the negotiation table, and they negotiate, and all of a sudden you find out of 7 board seats, they've given a partner 5 board seats. They lose control of their businesses. And unfortunately, when that happens, they lose the psyche, they lose the steam, they lose the stamina that they had to run their businesses, which is very crippling for many businesses, because a vision bearer needs to be able to keep their energy going. So even as you negotiate as a vision bearer of a business, then you should go there with confidence that what you're offering is more than money. In fact, if you do not have that attitude, then even the money that you're putting in may never come out, because you lose steam, the business loses steam, everybody loses. So please, as entrepreneurs, don't go to the negotiation table and think that money is the only partnership tool or partnership feed that you put into your business. It's more than just money. So don't.
Wow, that's really amazing. That's really amazing, because so many people end up selling their what I would call their birthrights, to
Yes.
someone else, and then realize my God, I sold all of me, you know.
Yes.
That really shows us that in business there are times and seasons, and because one does not have money at a particular season does not mean they are not valuable to the company. That is really a very important point that you have brought up there. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I had promised at the start of the show, one of us who are viewing the show live will have an opportunity of mentorship with Kuki for the next 3 months. So how are you able to win this mentorship? I'm going to ask a question, and the very first person to answer this question will have an opportunity to actually have one-on-one mentorship with Kuki. I think you can hear she's an amazing woman. I personally would be happy to be mentored by her. Who would not? So if you really want to be mentored by Kuki, just get this question right before we continue with the show. So this is the question. How many partners did Kuki start Greenpot Enterprises with? So that's the question. We shall wait. We shall continue with the show. So Kuki, Greenpot has grown, has expanded, has impacted communities. What would you say makes the Greenpot brand unique? Because every brand has its unique features. What makes Greenpot brand unique?
First, I'll start just by the name. I know, like, I remember when I went to my friends and told them, we're starting a company and we're calling it Greenpot. Everybody was like, whoa, why would you call it that? And the first unique thing about the Greenpot brand is what it stands for. It has a pot. Just let's look at the logo. It has a green pot, literally. And if you read stories about treasures, they would be stored in a pot. In the African community, nice food was cooked in pots. So we thought pots as a symbol of wealth and richness and culture. And then green is because it was a green business. We're going to be growing trees, not just bamboo, actually. We have other trees that we grow. So when we started, we knew that it was a green business. So it was called Greenpot. So when you look at it, every time people go like, what's this? And thankfully, it gives us an opportunity to be able to explain. The other thing is that Greenpot, it's about people, planet, and pockets. And many people call it the triple bottom line. People, because of the impact it has on people, it gives them an extra revenue. It gives them an extra source of income for their families, and also gives them an opportunity to do good. There are people who became part of our gated community just because they were looking for an opportunity to do good for Kenya, and the forests made sense to them. So when you think about people, again, you look at resources around and what people use. In Kenya, for instance, and I think it's the case in Uganda and many East African countries, wood and wood fuel is scarce. So when you get into a business that allows you to give them this scarce resource and they can use it with abundance because it's available, then it is a good business to be in. So it is about the people first. It's also about the people I work with, the people we work with. They are amazing people, foresters, researchers. It's about those people. This business is not just about us as partners, it's also about them. The other thing is about planet. The good it does. It stops gullies, it stops erosion, and restores landscapes. It starts growing. It makes trees that were not growing start growing again. So it's a business that enriches our environment. It gives fresher air. It cleans the bamboo that we grow, cleans rivers. In Japan, for instance, they were using bamboo after the tsunami to be able to separate the sewage water with the clean water. It's a beautiful thing that we work in. So that's about the planet and about pockets. Everybody wants to make extra money. And if you think about it this way, the people you employ along the value chain, bamboo employs 5 people for every acre planted. So if you plant an acre of bamboo as a farmer, you're employing 5 people along the value chain. So it just makes it beautiful. It's about the impact that Greenpot has with people. Now, also in terms of the brand, it's how do you see Greenpot? We see every time people think of Greenpot, they say bamboo. It's those bamboo people, which is the space that we always wanted to be in. So, in fact, we have a logo that says that we are the bamboo people, and it is true. But the one I love most is that Greenpot is about creating wealth, one tree at a time. You don't need to plant 5, you don't need to plant 1,000. Start with 1, keep growing it, and it's able to create wealth like that. So the Greenpot brand is different in that way.
Wow, that's amazing. Creating wealth one tree at a time. You know, that gives hope to many of the viewers. That means that I can just start with one tree, and who knows, I may be the next millionaire that Kenya, Nairobi, Uganda are talking
Mhm.
about just by starting with one bamboo tree. That's really amazing. And I like the fact that your brand is about people, because the businesses that are in the business of people will ultimately succeed, because
Oh,
business
yes.
is for people. I like the fact that Greenpot Enterprise has been able to pick one of the greatest business secrets of being in the business of people. If you want to succeed, you better learn and love how to be in the business of people. So, Cookie, you talked about being a mother, trying to relocate some of your children, and I know when it gets to mothers and their children, there is
Yes.
they have a bit of concern. So
Yes.
I believe that and watching us on this show, I can see part of the comments. We have a number of women who are watching. What
Yes.
advice would you give to a woman in the entrepreneurship space, or a woman who is thinking of starting her own entrepreneurship journey? Now that you've told us that we can even actually start with only one bamboo plant, someone may say, I'm going to start with one bamboo plant tonight.
First, Lydia, I'll start by saying this. When it comes to business these days, women have been empowered to a level whereby we do not need to differentiate business that is for women and is for men. And it, as a woman starts a business, I would like to say that today I'm giving advice to people who would want to start businesses, not just women, because thankfully there are many women who fought before us and have been able to bring us to a place whereby we can now call ourselves equal players when it comes to business, not just in Kenya, but in the world at large. And the first thing I say is bootstrap. And by this, I mean the way business throws you around sometimes, if you're not well bootstrapped, you'll get out of this without your shoes on. You have to be ready to do business. And by this, I mean your mindset, your attitude, even altitude sometimes, and latitude should be ready to do business. You should not get in to get out. So as you start your business, make sure that even mentally, financially, in terms of just storing up monies for your business, get in to finish, not get in to get out. So the first one would be to bootstrap. The second one would be make hay when the sun is shining. And what do I mean by that? There are times our business is doing very, very well, right? And you find that when the businesses are doing well, we sometimes feel like you want to, you know, you assume that's the end of the journey. You want to take that money quickly, your dividends, and store them aside and do all those things. When your business is doing well, it is time for you to create infrastructure and to invest in things that will make that business grow later on. And I'll give an example. I remember like when we were doing our gated community initially and with the cash flows were very good. One of the things that we did is buy land on which we are building our factory. In the later years, we would not have been able to afford that, but we were able to afford it then. We were able to buy land that we can use as collateral for banks and things like that, because sometimes you need to take a loan. And even as I dare say, we built those studios that I moved into. Had we not built them then, maybe in Narok I'd be renting a small space there somewhere. But at that point, we were able to create infrastructure and build structures that are going to enable your business growth. So when the cash flows are good, yes, get excited, change your car, not too much, but please lay infrastructures that will enable your business to grow so that you can be able to stand on them. And then also keep learning. Keep asking yourself, what do I need to know about this business and who can give me this information? Do you need to get into an online class? Do you need to interact with people, go for a conference, go for a seminar? Sometimes we pretend we're entrepreneurs, we are very busy, and yes, we are. But you cannot learn on your own. You need to hear what other people have done before. You need to have an opportunity to attend a webinar such as this one. Keep learning, and not just from people who think you are high up there, even from your employees. Look at the things that are happening around you and learn from them so that you're learning to correct and to build. The other one is I keep telling people, stop sometimes, just stop and listen to yourself. Listen to how your body is feeling. Listen to how your emotions are roaring or rearing or whichever way they are going. Just stop and listen to yourself, because it is your business. If you do not stop, then the business will stop you. So it's good sometimes to just take some time to even reflect. How far have I come? How far do I want to go? What do I want to do in the future? Or even sometimes stop and just relax. Switch off your phone. Don't talk to anybody for a day or two. And I think sometimes you forget that. Yet when you rejuvenate your body, you're able to get energy that you're going to be able to put into your business. One of the other things I also find that we forget to do is allocate time for the business. And let me explain. Not in terms of day-to-day working time. We expect when we do our projections, we always have a tight fixed area that within 5 years I'll be in a certain place, within 3 years I'll be in a certain place. We forget that the business we are running runs in an environment that we don't have total control over. So even as you plan for the successes or for the expansion of your business, please allocate time. Give time. If you wanted your business to succeed in 5 years, please give yourself 7 years. So that also you don't get a heart attack when at year 3 you're still at the foundational stage of your business and you're not built up the way you wanted. Give it time. Our children grow over time. We grew over time. It's the same thing with our business. You can't come from 0 to 20 years in 1 year or in 5 years. So don't get disappointed by time. Give the time that is required to grow your business so that then you also have time to adjust. You have time even to change your business perhaps, or you have time to think about new products. Always give yourself more time.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't imagine that we're about to get to 8 o'clock and this show will be amazing. Yes. Yet you still had so many nice things to tell us. But Kuki, I just want to show you what's happening in the audience. The viewers are very excited. You can see Samuel Evander says, this is inspiring. Thank you. Focusing on people. Yes. Caroline says, great lessons for entrepreneurs, especially giving time for your business. Caroline again says, I love your passion. Then Esther says, great ideas. Someone says, I like your passion. I like the passion and charisma of this lady. Someone says, lively, thanks for bringing Kuki. So like you can really see, we're all very excited to be with you and we've really learned a lot from you. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the opportunity for you to ask as many questions as we draw to the close of the show. So Kuki, I'll start pushing some of the questions that I've already received in the comments. Someone is asking, thanks for bringing Kuki. Too much to learn. Question number 1, how much does it require to do bamboo planting? Question number 2, if I ventured in this, will Kuki provide the market? And what's the price looking forward to having her email? Kuki, like guys, I told you that the reason why we're having the brand show across countries is because we wanted to expand your business perspective beyond your own country. And I'm very happy and excited to note that Proscovia is actually from Uganda, but is already thinking about doing business with Kenya. This is what the brand show is about, creating synergies that would rather not have been created. So Kuki, over to you to give Proscovia the answers to those questions.
First now, maybe if you're growing bamboo, and Uganda is an amazing place. I went to northern Uganda and I was like, oh my God, this is bamboo country. So if you're even from that side of northern Uganda, Mount Elgon area, it's really great. Like most of Uganda is great for growing bamboo. Now, the way we structured our business is so we grow bamboo in one area so that taking it to a factory is not too expensive for the people that are growing it. So if we thought about growing it, say in Uganda, we would like to have the same model, whereby if you get a partner we can work with, we can be able to get farmers within a certain radius growing bamboo together so that the cost of transportation is not too costly and so that they are closer to the factory. And in Kenya, even though we are in 16 counties, it's because it's intended for 15 factories so that the people in the 16 counties can access easily. So we would love to grow with you in Uganda. Maybe we can get as a partner there. And it would cost you from start to finish, including seedlings and management of the bamboo for the 4 years. It should cost you almost $4,000 to grow the bamboo to the end. That's for an acre of bamboo. But the returns are really exciting because then you're able to get about 30 or so tons that gives you about $3,000 to about $5,000 every year. Because bamboo, when you start harvesting it, the returns are yearly. It can give you between $3,000 to even up to $6,000, sorry, every year continuously. So it becomes like an apartment where you can collect rent over and over and over again. So we would love to get a market for you if you are closer to us. If not, we should be talking about how to get to you later.
Okay, so we shall see how we can help Proscovia to learn a little bit more from you. We shall probably share an email and a contact. Who knows? This could be her beginning of wealth creation. Like you say, just creating wealth, one bamboo at a time. So the second question is, other than expansion, what's the right time to diversify to a different revenue stream?
Now, this, I don't think that I'm an expert exactly, but I will say this. Even our children grow and they mature and they become good, big people, and you let them get out of your house and they go and earn their own salaries. I think when you have cash flows or an extra revenue, or some extra money that you can be able to set aside for your business, then you can be able to start another business. Because, I mean, one business can't be enough. You don't survive with one meal a day. And having diversified businesses is just adding more to your basket. So I think at the point whereby one has been able to run a business, to build a business to a point whereby it can run on its own, or it can run with management, it can run without you having to sit there day on day, I think it is a good opportunity to diversify. And in fact, I encourage that if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, start another business. You're going to open up avenues for other people. So if you're a kind of person who is able to start and grow a business and take it to a place whereby it can be able to sustain itself, keyword sustain itself, then it will be a nice time to also start another business. Otherwise, if you start too early, then it becomes a problem. There are people who start businesses and the particular business does not do well. Let me say this, don't be rigid. If it's not doing well and there's an opportunity you're hearing somewhere else that can be able to get you to the frontier you want to get to, then that's also another time, a good time to diversify your business. So that then if you become too stuck in your ways, you might find yourself crumbling. And that's what I was saying, don't hold on too much until it hurts you or it destroys you. So if you're in a place whereby, honestly, you have tried all that you can and the business is not doing well, and you have an opportunity to expand into something else or diversify to something else, please don't be afraid. Don't wait for the donkey to die. Just then, while you still have energies and hope in you, then also diversify to another business.
All right, that's amazing. Thank you so much. So I would like to announce the winner of the mentorship with the 3-month free mentorship with Kuki is none other than Njeru Imberia. Njeru Imberia, you have won an opportunity to be mentored by this amazing woman. There was someone else who answered the second question, Proscovia Aramorach. Proscovia was the person who really wanted to grow bamboo in Uganda. Shall look into that, and since she's very interested in growing, who knows, maybe she could bring you to doing bamboo in Uganda too. Yes, going across nations. You're going into 16 counties. Maybe it's time to start coming into Uganda. Bring this bamboo here too. So we shall talk about having Proscovia Ramorach, who answered, who was the second person who gave us the right answer on that. Oh, good things come to an end. I can't imagine that this show is coming to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the brand show. But before we go, let's have Kuki share with us what are your parting shots for our viewers. What do you want our people to leave with tonight before we close down today's show?
One of the first things I'd like to tell people is, even as you start your business, learn how to grow together. And let me explain this. When you start a business, it's going to affect, or it's going to impact different people around you. It could be your employees, it could be your partners, it could be the people that you serve or produce products for. Sometimes I feel like we start our businesses and you're raring to go and you want to run quickly and do your own things on your own. Please try and grow with other people. Mentor somebody around you. Talk to someone around you who may need the guidance, so that they can also be able to benefit from just the good things that you're doing. One of the other things I'd like to say is also assess your business. And when you are sure that it is the right business and you get into it, please give it everything that you need to give so that it can be able to grow. I feel like sometimes we become wary, we listen to noises around us, we listen to people around us, and they become a deterrent to us. When it is your business and you're sure that that's what you want to do, get in after you have assessed carefully and do whatever it takes to make, whatever is permissible to make that business succeed. Not whatever it takes. Do whatever is permissible to make sure that that business succeeds. The other thing I'd like to say is, and maybe this will be the last one, it's just as bamboo, like bamboo grows. I mean, the bamboo business, so I could touch on that. The same way bamboo grows. When you start your business, stay rooted and stay down there trying to, what do you call it? Grow your rooting system first. Grow your foundation first. Because what happens when you start growing as a business, you will be shocked by the number of storms and the number of storms that will come your way. Be it from the legal side, be it from the financial side, be it from products having challenges, be it from disgruntled clients. So if you're not grounded and you're not sure and you've not made time to build yourself, to understand and to even anticipate, then when one storm comes, it's going to bring you down. So take time, ground yourself, then grow upwards. And I'm sure you're going to succeed in all that you do. Thank you. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Wow, thank you so much, Kuki. This has been very amazing. This has been inspiring. This has been very valuable. And I'm very confident that our viewers have gone away with a lot of information. I want to encourage all our viewers that next week again, on Wednesday next week, we shall be in Nairobi. The brand show features 2 entrepreneurs every month. And we shall be featuring yet another amazing entrepreneur from Kenya. So if you're in Kenya here and you've enjoyed this, go and tell your village and all the people about the good news that happens in the brand show. Imagine partnerships are happening just even at the show. Great things, inspiration, challenges are happening at the brand show. If you've enjoyed this, make sure next Wednesday, same time, you come with your friend, come with your family members, come with your business partners, even come with your enemies. When you become rich,
They could
come with your enemies. You may be enemies because you are poor. So when you make more money, you'll probably become friends again. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. Once again, the brand show is brought to you by Winning Choices in partnership with Saida Solutions. Winning Choices is passionate about building brands. We actually help entrepreneurs build outstanding and magnetic brands that can stand the test of time. So if you're an entrepreneur out there wondering, why am I competing with so many people? How do I stand out? Winning Choices is what you need. So feel free to get in touch with us via our social media pages or send an email to us so that we can help you take your brand to the next level. And for those in Nairobi who would want to find out more about the brand show, about the brand lab, feel free to get in touch with Danstan Machoka. You can find him at Jalada Place on Ngong Road. We're very excited. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe so that you don't miss any show. Today we are in Kenya. The next time we shall be in Tanzania. The next time we shall be in Nigeria. The brand show is brought for you to take you to your next level without boarding an aeroplane or buying a visa to your next destination, simply at the comfort of your phone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Kuki Kathomi Njeru, it's been a pleasure. We are really grateful. I look forward to coming and having tea with you at Narok one of these days. Have a great evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for watching the brand show. See you next Wednesday, same time, same place.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bless you too.